Okay, so the first thing you need is the 6 trig functions and the ratio. So, yeah, SOHCAHTOA is part of that. What does SO stand for?
The opposite over hypotenuse.
Yeah, it's sine of the angle equals opposite over hypotenuse, right? What does COS stand for?
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
Cosine of the angle equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And TOA,
Opposite over adjacent.
tangent of the angle equals opposite over adjacent. Okay. So the other three, those are 3 trig functions. What are the other 3? What's the reciprocal for sine?
Cosecant.
Cosecant. So on the cosecant, you just do hypotenuse over opposite.
Only something burning.
I'm just too hot.
You're doing.
Oh my gosh.
Is that?
It smells like burnt garlic.
You don't smell like that.
Wait, you said you put these on that. Ooh. You said you put these on the. I didn't smell anything.
It smells like burnt garlic.
It does.
Oh, garlic.
It actually
Great.
does.
I smell
Yeah,
it.
some smells burnt.
I can't smell anything.
Dude, that might
Oh,
just keep
I know
that's
it
a
is.
fart.
I know it is. It's not a fart. The first
Smells like a
time,
fart.
the first time you
Sorry.
turn a heater on in the winter,
Oh, it's
Oh, I was like, man, is
Did they
someone
turn
cooking
it
garlic
on?
bread?
I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
You can put your
It's
hand up.
warmer
and
than
feel
every
it.
other day today.
Is there
Or this week.
They usually have 8 degrees.
Yeah. Yesterday was like 50.
It's cold air. It's like super cold.
Maybe it's warmer
Go
now.
up and smell it, Xander.
Nope. They don't smell like garlic bread.
Okay.
Like,
Maybe it's negative.
What's the reciprocal for cosine?
Oh, there it is.
Secant.
And it's
Right,
hypotenuse
fire
over.
is-
No, I'm making fun of it
I'm in some weird parts.
What's the reciprocal for tangent?
Cotangent.
Cotangent.
What page is this?
now. And that's adjacent over opposite.
Okay.
Car.
So SOHCAHTOA gets you most of it, and then you just have to have these 3 memorized. That they're what
Was that on the test?
what they're yes, this is like the beginning of the test.
That's good.
No, like what you get.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to you after you get it wrong.
Oh.
No.
it's like one of those when you check.
Oh wow, it's getting strong now.
Okay. What is the converter from, let's go degrees to radians. How do you, what's the converter for degrees to
Pi
radians?
over 180.
Yeah. The 180 is on the bottom because you're getting rid of the degrees, and your pi is on top because you're multiplying in the radians. And what's so if you know that one,
Wait,
the other
converter
ones.
for what?
This goes from degrees to radians. So it's a question on the test, but also you have to like use it on like number 4 or something to actually convert. And what's the converter from radians to degrees?
180 over
180
5.
over pi.
But can't you just use the calculator?
Well, you use a calculator, but you have to plug that in the calculator. Okay, number 3. I'm a little concerned about this because we didn't do any of them. We didn't talk about it that much. But I put this on the test. So it's filling the sides, the ratio of the sides. I'll start with the easier one. You guys remember the 40, 40, 45, 45, 90?
1 squared root 2.
Yes. Oh,
Wow.
no, I erased it.
And then 1 2 or 1 2 square root of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Let's go, Drew.
So that needs to be memorized too, I guess. Those are the 3 things. Those 3.
Just the size or the angle?
They're.
So if
I will
like,
give you.
get
I will give you that it's a 45, 45, 90, and then you label the sides.
Is that the
Write
same
that
thing as
down
learning
real quick.
Yeah. Huh? Okay, so I am going to provide the sector area formulas and Sector area is the area of the circle times the angle over 360. Arc length is the circumference of the circle times the angle over 360.
Matt, do you want to speak for worship?
Oh, we need to switch over now.
Okay. I'll put Daniel on for.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Did you guys think he was insulting you when he said the?
Yeah, I'm
No,
very
I
confused.
knew that he wasn't, but then like.
'Cause at the
I
beginning he was
I was like, oh,
He
maybe
did, but
that
I'm
is
pretty sure he
something.
was talking about the worshipers.
Because
That was
It's a
so
lot funnier the
funny.
other way.
He didn't say worship team, he said worship.
so like at the beginning when we were practicing, he goes, "You guys sound really good."
And he
And he
asked us
goes,
to
Yeah.
go.
I was as bad as the worship. I'm like, and then after he goes, "You guys should come play with
That
us."
message.
Yeah, he like invited us to church.
I don't think
Yes,
he
it
did it
was.
because
Apparently we're not made in the image of God.
He was like, you guys need to stop believing that lie that you're made in the image of God because you're not.
yeah, I was like,
He's like, you're making the image of your parents. And I was like, okay.
I
I
mean,
was-
physically.
I was dying laughing.
Well,
I think you got a point there.
I died whenever he said you wouldn't let go of that 14-year-old, bro. I was like, this is getting weird.
He put his hands on his bottom.
Yeah.
Started shit. He was thinking my girl.
I grabbed him so he
Alright.
couldn't run away. The football
Yeah.
team joke was funny.
I think I missed out.
Yeah, I disagreed with the image of God thing, but because if Adam was made in the image of God and we're made in the image of Adam, then we are made in the image of God. But we are. His point was that
We're dead.
the image is broken. Basically, we're a flawed image. Okay, number 4 is going to be convert. Let's do 225 degrees. Convert to radians. And what else?
Oh, is this like an actual problem now? Not a formula.
Yeah, convert to radians. This is
What?
not, yeah, no more formulas.
Well, what kind of rating?
There's only one thing.
Oh. Well, there was that grading.
So, if we're converting to radians, you need to use the degree to radians converter, right? From number 2.
Yeah.
So you multiply by pi over 180.
5, 4.
Divide out the degrees, multiply in the radians.
Did y'all get half out or?
Wait, so what?
Wait, what happened to Jackson?
How do you?
He's sick.
Is he dead?
Well, I was sick yesterday.
I'm sick of you.
Sick of being tired.
Can we have like a day where we're not tired?
Wait, you said you times it
Wait,
and
Josh,
then
does the
you
calculator need to be
divide
in like
the
radians mode?
Degrees rating 5 over 180 times 25, or is it?
You don't need to change degrees and or to degrees or radians until we get to the cosine signs.
Alright.
But
Which means today is
I
gonna
don't know, you'll probably answer it whenever you answer it.
so this is radians to degrees.
I think he was doing easy because he.
So you use the radians to degrees converter.
Because we ran that thing before.
But I'm saying,
Yeah,
when you
that's-
plug
that's
in the
easier
number
than
that.
You just you multiply this times whatever.
Oh wait, what's radians to the degree formula?
The opposite.
It's 180 over pi.
Okay.
I think I might need to go blow up before this person.
Josh, that's not very senior of you.
You might need to what now?
Blow up a fluid.
Hey, why did I ask?
He's not talking about pooping. Wait, he's half Arab. He wants to blow up a baby. That's what I was going for, but
Oh,
no
I
one
was
did.
like, what?
Okay, that's what I was going for, but then no one.
Didn't know how to get there.
No one did understand.
I was confused on where you were going.
And then I just didn't want to say it.
Okay,
Oh,
what do
it
you guys
is
get on 4?
Indian.
What'd you get on?
Can I use the restroom?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What for?
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go poop.
Again, I regret. Okay. Huh?
Can I use the trash can? No.
Get out of here. What'd you guys get on 4A?
It's coming from outside.
What?
The smell.
You say it was strong
Starting
in the home.
Because he dropped it on me.
What'd you guys get for B?
I just got a 3 pi over 2.
Okay, hopefully you guys got that. How about A? You guys might remember this one, pi over 2. You remember that one? 90. If you don't remember, you guys plug it in. 3/4 pi.
135.
Don't forget that little negative symbol. I have to take a point off. All right. Number 6. This is find two angles, one positive and one negative, that are coterminal. You guys know what I'm talking about? Give me two angles, one positive and one negative, that is coterminal with 400 degrees. And let's do pi over 2 also.
Co-terminal?
Yeah.
It means they stop at the same spot. Remember doing these problems?
I know. 40.
Yeah, you subtract 360 or add 360 to get an angle that stops the same
Oh,
spot.
I remember.
If it's in radians, you add
182.
2 pi or subtract 2 pi.
So A is 40.
I
40 is one of the possible answers, but you also need a negative. So you subtract 360
Negative
again.
320.
Negative 320.
And
What is
B.
the question?
Find two angles, one positive and one negative, that are coterminal with each given angle.
Wait, how's it negative? Wait, hold up. What's 6 now?
If you subtract 360, you get 40. If you subtract 360 again, you get negative 320.
Oh,
So
is
you
B
subtract
5 over
360
2 pi?
twice?
Yeah.
No.
Well, to get to the negatives, yeah. If you do it once, that gives you a positive. 40 degrees, that would be the positive answer. If you subtract 360 again, you get negative 320. That's the negative answer.
And this is whenever we have to convert it, right? By changing to radians and
B, do you
degrees.
want given in radians?
Yeah, if it's in the radians, keep it in radians.
How'd you do the radians again? You subtract 2 pi?
Yeah. Add 2 pi, subtract 2 pi.
You was horsing around right there.
Ooh.
What's here?
This 7 is harder than I thought it was.
A sector of a circle has central.
Have you all seen Squid Games yet? Yeah. Yes, yeah. Well, I made through one episode, and now I'm like, that was good, but I don't want to watch like a lot more episodes because it was like at midnight, and so I just watched a YouTube explain.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
I just got
That
to the
way
part
more
where the
than
guy just grabbed the other guy's nuts. Dang, they didn't have that in the
Sure.
YouTube explain.
Not acceptable in this company.
It's not very Christ-like. of
Or in a classroom at all.
Is there a formula for that?
Yes,
Are you
7
gonna
has
give it to
formula.
us or are you not?
Yes, I am.
I think we got Never mind, I didn't watch the full shit. But that was just episode 7, but.
Our top rating for you was like, have you seen this? This is really good.
What
And
is
I-
the answer?
Well, actually, I watched one episode of the YouTube explain.
Basically the same thing. The YouTube explain, it was an hour long YouTube explain, so. You didn't have that in there? No. Well, actually, I only got like 10 minutes through that, but no. was the one. It was the
Arc
game.
link
It
is
started with the game where they had the
purple
glass
Oh, yeah.
right?
ones. I don't have any clue what's going on really though because I started like episode 5.
The arc, yeah, the arc is a curve on the outside circle, yeah.
Do you still have to memorize these?
No,
Can you give us a chart like that?
yeah.
Actually, I have to go through the
Thanks.
YouTube explain. I needed to watch YouTube explain.
Something on the mirror.
So is this something we gotta memorize here?
No.
There's the garlic. That's where it came from.
Yeah, I told you, we were all over here like, you smell that? Just break his fart.
Was it really?
No way.
Really?
Wait, he scrapped himself right now.
If you wait and rewatch the video, I'm sure
It's
it's
awful.
I kind of made a noise to try to cover it up, but that was really loud. And bad timing.
Alright. Okay, so 7's kind of tricky. They start by telling you the arc length. You can work backwards to find the radius. And then you plug the radius in to find the sector area. This is a tough one. So if we know the arc length is 2.5, then how would I set that up?
So 2r pi 45 over 360 equals 2.5.
Alright, you guys see how I got that?
Josh, is that the
You set the
This was your
arc length formula equal to the arc length. And how could we solve that for r?
Why did we do that?
Okay, because we can use that information to find out what the radius is. And if we have the radius, then we can find the area. I should have said sector area right here, not area.
Do we need to memorize that?
No. Okay, how do we find r here? It's basically divide everything, right? Divide 45 over 360, divide by 2 pi. And let's like round it, let's round it to like the 10th place or something.
Somebody else can do
What
that.
do you mean, like, divide 2.5 by 360? Is that what you mean by averaging?
To solve for r, since all this stuff is multiplied to r, you would divide by all that stuff. Make sure you know how to plug that in your calculator, I guess.
We can use calculators on the test.
No, you can't, Josh.
I've
Wait.
got 3.2.
3.2, do you
Why
manage
did
to
you
get that?
do?
Do you guys
Yeah.
concur?
Why did you do 2 pi?
We're using the arc length formula.
You're dividing by 2 pi
Right.
that because you want to get rid of the
You don't
r
have one
by
digit.
itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
I understand, man.
Do you always round to tens?
Well.
We already did
Ugh.
it.
And then the radius, we know
Is theta the
And we
central
know-
angle?
the theta is still 45, so we just gotta plug it into the second area formula. So 3.2 squared times pi times 45 over 360.
How'd you get 3.2?
2 that's right here, 2.5 divided by 2 pi times,
That already figures
So I
out.
like plugged that in.
probably.
That figures out the degrees though, right?
What in doubt?
Wait, why is it?
Like what
If
is that
we
the answer to?
Yeah, why are we squaring?
The radius, we're solving for r.
You need the dynamic.
No, so it's not an actual like
We would
answer.
multiply it by 2 then. Why is it squared?
For
I'm using sector area.
Do we wanna find out in radians or degrees?
Degrees, they gave us 45 degrees, so we're giving them.
Did you get 32 over 25
I got Joe Mama.
No, we want a decimal answer here.
Oh, SD 4.021.
1, 2, 3, 8,
We'll say it's
5,
about 4, I guess.
9,
4.0.
Faux.
1, 3.
Faux. I got faux.
This would be like, since it's an area, it would be like centimeters squared or something, whatever it is.
Will that thingy be on the board for the test?
Yes.
I don't know, like,
Alright, I'll look at it.
uh,
Okay, here, actually, I might just be able to tell you. If you're trying to divide all of this at once, the division bar is not the same thing as a division symbol. So if you use a division symbol, or did you use a fraction bar?
I was using division symbol.
You would need to do that.
So like a fraction.
Well, you can use the division symbol, but you need to put everything you're dividing by in parentheses.
Here's my.
Dude, I need you.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Got it?
So, okay, so
Oh,
you
use
are
fraction
wanting us
bars.
to find like the sector area, right? Does that mean we have to do that? No, does that mean we have to find the degrees and the radians and the sector?
They told us the degrees was 45.
Wait, have you seen?
So what
Yeah.
is
Have
that?
you seen Josiah's new
Caleb
That would be radians then.
No, degrees is degrees. 45 degrees is degrees.
Yeah, but what we just solved
I'll
for,
learn
we're
why.
trying to solve for the radians.
My
not the
face?
sector.
My
Not
face
the
was in
degrees.
between.
Yeah. We use,
I don't understand.
Is this
Okay.
really big? My face is really big.
guys, on this problem, we used both of these. Why didn't we use these?
Because it's not radians.
Because they gave us a degree angle.
Yes.
They didn't say it was 2 radians or anything. If they would have told us radians, we would have used these two formulas.
Because
So,
radians is.
they're useless in
Well,
the equation that they.
Yeah, if you look at the radians formula,
It's a lot easier. it looks
it's
like.
similar, yeah.
This math is giving me headache.
Okay.
It's not funny.
I know, I was suffering too.
Why are you laughing?
It's the only thing that makes you.
Because you're funny looking.
Is it because he's Indian?
Miss Conrad said she was a racist today.
Did she? Did you
What?
ask
She
her?
said we said something stupid and then she said something funny and then we're like, what, because we're brown? And she goes, yep, I'm a racist. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she goes along with it now. Hilarious.
She's tired of fighting it.
She's like, what are they gonna do?
She needs
Fire
to
me?
embrace her inner
She's
racism.
leaving.
That would suck.
She goes, what are they gonna do? Fire me?
Okay,
Really salty about that.
What?
We don't have her next year anyway.
I do. You take honors.
no,
Like,
she's
take
What do you
leaving.
my-
call somebody who discriminates against
She's
erasers?
I know.
Oh.
But like I would have.
You
that
call them
next year.
Oh, you would have.
They
are
are
racist.
Oh, I get
They
it.
cheated.
Do you guys hear this joke? Say it again, Bruce. Say it again.
Okay, guys, what do you call somebody who discriminates against erasers?
Erasers?
Yeah.
What do you
that?
call it?
Erasers. Like erasers.
Like on the
Like
back of
pencil
your pencil?
erasers.
An eraser?
Oh yeah, I thought you guys were saying.
What would you call them? Somebody who discriminates against erasers. You call them a racist.
You say you're racist?
Yeah.
Racist.
I think I'm more disappointed that she laughed at that.
Dude, I'm sorry.
Will might like that joke. I always think of Will when I hear terrible jokes.
Will is a
Oh, that's not mean at all.
Have you ever been around Will for any length of time?
It
Yes.
is.
What are we
No, I get
finding?
what you mean. I get the point.
She understood the joke. Right?
I don't understand the joke.
What joke? It's a joke?
Okay, so like for this,
Okay.
you use the
Is it?
radians for.
Yeah, we're talking about radius. A sector of a circle has an area, blah, 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 blah. Find the radius and arc length.
And arc length?
Yeah. Well, you have to find the radius to find the arc length. It's just like the other one, but backwards.
Why couldn't we just find the radius?
Oh man, there's a lot of work.
Why don't you guys try it without helping me
Because
out with
it's
this time?
discriminating against minorities such as myself.
Do you need to know this for like ACT and SAT stuff?
I think these will be on there.
What kind of math is on the PSAT, do you know?
I looked at the math section of the PSAT, and it was a thing that we just got done doing with like the P of K and stuff, you know, that stuff.
Here it is.
Oh, don't you guys have that too?
There's a math test, no calculator. So.
No calculator?
So computation.
There's a section without a calculator.
Yeah.
Okay.
The P of K stuff was without a calculator.
So, guys,
Not the other.
listen, listen. So they gave us 0.3 radians, so we're using the radians form of the sector area.
Oh.
Set that equal to the sector area, 100. Solve for r, that will be our first answer. Then once we have the radius r, and we still have the angle, 0.3, that'll give us the arc length.
So we gotta find the radius.
Yeah, find the radius again, kind of the same as the last one, but the formulas are actually easier because it's radians.
I got
Um,
2 square root of 18.
how do you find radians again? I mean radius again?
Well, we know the sector area is 100. So the sector area formula set that equal to 100.
Well, arc length is just.
The central angle, do we need
Well,
to
aren't
change
you
that?
Central angle is 0.3.
I got
We could get from the radius.
66.6666667.
Is it really that?
Because I multiply by
I got
2, so
1530.
2 times 100 is 200. Then you divide by 0.3, you get 66.6 repeats, or 600.
Yeah, but there's an r squared on it also.
Yeah, then you square root, and you get 20 times square root of 15 over 3. And then you multiply that by 0.3, and you get 2 square root of 15.
Okay, well, for the radius, we'd probably want that as a decimal number.
Wait, I didn't.
1530.
So 25.8 times 0.3.
Yeah, I didn't.
I did not get that.
And then you get 77.74.
Alright, sounds like you did something wrong. So
I can't know.
How did you do it?
No, I'm wrong.
radius squared times,
I thought we're using the sector area.
yeah,
We got it.
for radians.
I use the degrees, that's why I got wrong. Use the
You guys read that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you multiply by 2, divide by 0.3. If you divide by 0.3, was that, you say 666?
Yeah.
0.6 repeating. And then you get r squared equals 666.6 repeating. So what do we do
You
here?
square root it.
Square root.
Yes, sir.
So what does that come out to?
25.8.
I guess we're doing centimeters again. So that would be the first answer, and then how do we find the arc length?
You put 25.8 times 0.3.
Yeah.
Woo.
Which is
Oh, I just realized Aiden won't be able to see the formulas. There you go, Aiden
For Aiden,
and Jackson.
he was disabled.
Okay, you'll have to rewind to
We
that.
should make jokes about Jackson and
Nah.
Hey, Jackson.
You're a
Tall.
poopy head.
Wow. You can't see that.
Face explosion.
Don't look at me, you're scary.
She can grab it.
Moving and grooving. All right. So, you guys remember the assignment where we put positive, negative, or zero? That's the next one. This is number 10, right?
Frick.
9. Sounds like we're speaking German here. 9. Oh, yeah, I see it.
I thought we were on 9. 9?
9.
I'm being discriminated. Hey, we're on 11.
But I do know. I do something.
Speak.
Hard stick, physics 3. Hey, that's not nice. It's not.
What does it mean?
Can't wait to get a text from
Shut your
Jackson
ugly
like,
fat face.
you're a poopy head.
My foreign exchange student taught me that.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
What are we doing here?
Joe Mama.
We're supposed to put positive, negative, or 0.
Speak
for
about
all
the mother's
these.
love.
Your mother.
Okay,
Uh,
so
does that make you my brother?
Step brother.
we could
Plug it in the calculator.
we could cheat and plug
I
in the
got
calculator.
0,
And
but we
then
can use our brain
So
power.
we can cheat on the
We're,
math.
well, it
It's
says
which one is
Do we have to use a
90?
circle?
it says without using a calculator.
Oh my god.
Oh my Lanta.
But are you gonna take them away?
So cosine is
No,
relative.
I'm just gonna stand over you with the yardstick,
Hey, I will take whipping to be able to use my calculator.
and then I'll just count it off.
What are you?
Okay. And then so cosine of pi. Remember?
What if we do it and then just check it with our calculator?
That'd be the same thing.
What
What was cosine based on?
The X.
Y, maybe?
Cosine was based on the x.
Oh.
So at pi, you guys remember where pi's at?
1.
Right here.
I don't know.
What's
I
the
think
x?
it's set
The
negative.
x value is -1, right?
The
So
answer is 0.
If you want.
this would be negative. At b, sine of 3/4 pi. Is sine positive or negative, right? So pi is right here, right? So 3/4 pi would be about right there. Is sine positive or negative in the
Isn't
second
it
quadrant?
positive?
Positive. Remember, because it's based on the y value, so sine is positive up here and negative down here. So this would be a positive.
3/4 pi.
Sine of 100 degrees. Where's 100 degrees at?
Around right.
Yeah, just past
yeah.
that. So that would be positive again. And where is sine of negative 200 at? Sorry, this is cosine. Where's negative 200 at?
It's
Same spot.
second quadrant.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that. That was kind of an accident. Second quadrant again. Is cosine, but this is cosine. Is cosine positive or negative in the second quadrant?
Negative.
Cosine is positive. Negative.
Negative, because cosine is based on the x values. So cosine was like positive to the right and negative to the left. You guys remember that?
I thought negative 200 be in the third quadrant.
No, second quadrant. Negative 180 gets you right there. So 200 would be about right there.
Well, maybe
Oh,
you would apply
okay.
yourself.
Cosine was based basically on the x value. It was like x over r. So wherever x is positive at, the first and second quadrant, cosine is positive. Remember these little pictures we drew?
Yeah.
No.
And
Oh, yeah.
then sine is based on the y value, so it's positive in the top two quadrants. Okay, so we kept hitting the second quadrant on all these angles. Okay, I should have spread it out more, but I screwed up. So sine is positive in the second quadrant.
Uh-huh.
Cosine is negative in the second quadrant.
And they're both
So
positive.
we kind of just figured
Well,
out,
we have to know the plus and like a chart thingies.
kind of, yeah. I mean, you need to know where sine is positive and negative.
And how would you even cheat on a calculator?
You just plug it in your calculator and it'll give you like, if you plug this in your calculator, it'll probably say like
Like
0.879.
It says negative.
But cosine of pi is 0.
If it says negative, something's wrong. This should be positive. Your calculator might be in radians.
But it says
Oh, it is
0.9.
supposed
Yeah,
And then, but what is, how does that,
that's a positive value. Anyway, positive.
cosine?
Oh, I got it now.
Cosine pi is
It's
0.9.
birthday.
What difference on?
Cosine of pi is actually exactly -1, but either way, it should be negative. If you got something that wasn't, what did you get?
0.99.
Negative 0.99?
It just,
Okay, well, it should be negative. Is your,
It's 0.9.
Oh, yeah, if you put it in radians and do it, it gives you negative one.
okay, I'll put
For it?
yeah, once we get to sine and cosine, it matters whether your calculator is in radians or degrees.
okay, cosine.
Oh,
Wait, so 9 and 10, 9 is radians, right?
Yeah, when it has the pi, it's radians.
Okay,
Or anytime it doesn't have a degree symbol,
radians.
it's radians.
okay.
But then, oh, okay, that's where I got confused. Because with the degrees, I put in 700 and now it says negative 45, but that's because it's in radians.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Bethany.
I don't got a brain.
Okay, do you guys remember reference angles?
Yeah, I love those. Wait, why is the ceiling like popcorny?
You could say
I
that
used to
ceiling
have
is
to
pretty
scrape the
corny.
ceilings like
Huh?
Remember reference
Wait,
angles?
why? Why did it have
Actually, yes, I do.
Mr. Jordan, do you know how to make the statement?
It says, express each of the following in terms of a reference angle.
What's
So-
the reference angle again?
You guys remember this picture, like this angle
Oh, no.
It's
is like, this angle is a reference angle for basically all these angles. Like how far is it from 180 if it's in these two quadrants, or how far is it from 360 if it's in this quadrant? So, what quadrant would sine of 142 be in?
the second.
I should choose something beside the second quadrant. So how do I find the reference angle right here?
180 minus 142 gives you
Yeah.
38.
From here to here is 142.
I remember.
So we did 180 minus 142, which is 38. But the other thing you need to do is say, sometimes when you do the reference angle, it flips from positive to negative. Is sine positive or negative in the second quadrant?
Positive.
Positive. So that would be the answer. Sine of 38.
Wait, what was 10?
Wait, where'd you get 38? Oh, wait, 2.
You could check your answer by plugging both of these in the calculator and seeing that they were the same thing, but you would kind of need to first figure out 38 before you could check it. Let's do one more of those. Let's do cosine. Let's do a third quadrant. I shouldn't have said that. 2, 2, 2. Let's do 2, 2, 2. What quadrant is 2, 2, 2 in?
It's in the third
We're in
quadrant.
the third quadrant. Good job.
Now we
Okay, how do we find the reference angle if it's in the third quadrant?
222 minus 180.
222 minus 180, that'll give you that gap right there. Which is
42.
42. Is cosine positive or negative in the third quadrant?
I think it is negative.
Negative, so you gotta throw a negative on there.
Isn't cosine and sine both negative? in the third
Yeah,
quadrant?
both of them are negative in the third quadrant, both of them are positive in the first quadrant.
what like kind of questions will be like where it's like is it tangent thing where it's like positive and here, positive here, negative here,
Yeah, I don't know if I put tangent of that one on here, but if it was on here, tangent was positive, negative, like that.
it's tangent, not cotangent.
Well, cotangent is the same.
Okay.
It's the opposite.
It's, yeah, as far as positive and negative goes, all the reciprocal functions are the same. We did do that,
Another one or
didn't
this?
we? Yeah, we're not gonna make it.
Does that mean we get to have?
Oh,
Yes.
that's